Once Human is getting a massive update, and I was waiting till the last possible minute. Right now it's July 31st, as you can see. I was waiting to the last possible minute to post about it just in case there were any updates to the update notes that they're leaving. So we're going to kind of go over them together. The first big one, we're going to read the beginning. Dear Metas, Once Human will undergo server maintenance on August 1st at 4 a.m. UTC. Now, I believe, I could be wrong, I'm on Eastern, so you Easterner time zoners out there in America, I believe that's 8 a.m. I'm probably wrong as shit. I'm really bad with the time zone conversions. The maintenance is expected to last 4 hours per usual. Please plan your game time accordingly, and thank you for your understanding and support. We've been actively listening and addressing feedback and suggestions from our community since the global release. This maintenance will include the following content, and this is where it gets juicy. The biggest one, in my opinion, and they know it's the biggest one, is the one that they have first. So, memetic optimizations. So, I'm going to read parts of it, but I'm going to explain what it does. So, added a new item drop, memetic specialization memory fragments. So, after using a memetic specialization memory fragment, you will gain the corresponding memetic specialization effect. So, essentially, what this means is, and this has been a big gripe in the community, is that the specializations are very RNG based, and a lot of people who were playing on day one, the reset currency they give you for the specializations is not enough. And I'm going to input a little video of what where you get that memetic specializations. But basically, you're doing a boss, you're doing a silo, wherever they drop from, which appears to be like loot crates when you use a controller. So like when you complete a silo or you do like a seepage zone and you get like that those squiggly DNA lines, it has a chance to drop a specialization effect. Now I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, I'm assuming it's going to be all specialization effects, and you can have up to 3 of them. So let's say you're like me and you don't have the specialization effect to turn Stardust ore or Star Trace ore into Stardust Source. I can now go out and farm that specialization effect and then use that, and we can have up to 3 per season. Now, I'm assuming you can unequip these at any time. They don't really mention that. They will be destroyed at the end of the season, so they won't be carried over, so you can't stack up on them. And one of the biggest parts of this, they can be traded between players. That is huge, because people, just like in games like Warframe, people don't like grinding for things. There are those certain people that just have a ton of stuff and don't want to grind for things. So if you get a specialization drop that maybe this guy's been grinding for 3 days and he hasn't found it, maybe you can sell it to him for 500 acid or 500 energy links, whatever have you. So the memory fragment specialization is absolutely massive, and it's probably the number one thing I personally am looking forward to with this update. Now, moving on, we have gameplay optimizations. So they enriched the Highway Pursuit game mode. Now, if you don't know what that is a public event, to my knowledge, that the Rosetta truck drives down the road and you have to shoot the shit out of it, and then it will open up its trunk, or the trunk latch, and then sproutlets will fall out, and you can collect those sproutlets, obviously, which is a currency in game to use. And I think her name is Nina. It's probably not Nina. Nisa. So now what they've done is they've put a new pursuit route in Chalk Peak, which is great, because if there's more areas where public events can happen, the map just feels more alive, and people, no matter where their bases are, can randomly have those highway pursuits happen near them. So the event starting time is now fixed to 9 p.m. server time. Now, I could be wrong, but I thought they were random. Maybe they're not. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you know. But that's cool. That means that based on your server time, you can say, all right, I'm going to finish up dinner and get online so I can do a highway pursuit to get sproutlets, if that's something you want to do. But anytime that there's more transparency on what we can expect from events and what we can get from events, that is huge. So Rosetta trucks will now automatically drop sproutlets even if the player does not attack them. So what you had to do before was you kind of had to drive ahead of the truck, get out of your vehicle, and shoot it. That's if you're solo. If you have a teammate or buddies, they can hang out of like your ATV or your coupe and shoot it. So I'm not sure what this means. I'm assuming it will just start falling out of the back of it as usual. It increased the quantity of sproutlet and reward drops. That's good. I felt like the sproutlet drops were so bad. That was my biggest issue. I never did them because, you know, it's just been a whole thing. So they optimize item storage quantity and subtraction rules of the cargo scramble game mode. Now, I'm not 100% sure what that means. I've done the cargo scramble a couple of times, and that's the one where you have to break the truck that's traveling with the jellyfish. The jellyfish will break out, sproutlets will be everywhere, you grab the jellyfish, and if other players show up, you can kill them. I didn't know much about that, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I mean, an update to public events is huge, because that just makes it even more fun and even more playable for us. Next, we have optimized the ease of checking certain display elements. So after opening the map, you can now click on Monolith, Securement Silo, Public Crisis Event, Cargo Conquest, and other icons to open their details screen. This one is probably my second favorite underneath the Memetic Specialization thing, because I have a terrible memory, and if there's something I want to farm, maybe it's Mr. Wish, who I did finally get Mr. Wish to drop for me the other day. I don't really care for him, but, you know, either way, I couldn't remember the name of the silo, so I would, like, ask in chat, or I would Google it, and since One Human is still mostly new, it's hard to find, like, those direct answers easily on Google. So what I'm assuming you'll be able to do here is you'll be able to click on Monolith of Thirst, for example, and it'll bring up the details screen similar to what you get when you are there in person, and you click on it to go to start it. Obviously, you won't have a start option, but it'll give you the details of everything there. So that's just going to make farming a million times easier, and that I'm really looking forward to. Added a combat invitation function to public crisis events. You can now send invites to players via chat channels. I guess it's cool, just ease of access, you know, that way you can, it'll work similar to like silos and team ups, how it'll go into the team channel and be like, hey, join me for this. So there's cool. There is no longer a countdown timer for pressing ready when entering a monolith or a securement silo solo. This one's great. Just quality of life here. I do most of the content in Once Human solo. My buddies and I, we just don't have the, you know, the most in tuned schedule. So a lot of the times I end up doing solo stuff, especially during the day. So this is just quality of life. Vehicle optimizations increased the acceleration and maximum speed of low-level motorcycles, slightly increased the acceleration and maximum speed of off-roaders and coupes. The motorcycles one is a big deal. I hated, and I mean hated, the motorcycle early game. It put me off, when I first started playing this game, it put me off of other vehicles, because the motorcycle felt so slow, and it's so bad off-road, and all, like, first of all, like, I'm just gonna be real. Once Human devs, if you're listening to this, scrap the motorcycle, give us like a, what the fuck are they called? A dirt bike. Give us a dirt bike. It just makes more sense. Why the fuck do I have a Harley Davidson? Alright, I'm not a motorcycle guy. It's not even close to a Harley, but still. So that's better. Your vehicles early game are just going to be faster. Fixed an issue where after boarding a vehicle, the player would need to press a movement key once before being able to operate the vehicle. This is annoying. I've experienced this many times. Quality of life, great stuff. Added a function where if a vehicle is stuck in train, you can hold down the accelerate key to free the vehicle. Huge. Do you know how many times, honestly, I've had to go into World Chat and been like, hey, is there anyone on like World 7 who can come and just smash the shit out of my truck because it's stuck somewhere? Because this happens with the trailer heads and the trucks a lot because you can't summon them. And when you want to put your vending machine somewhere, you end up driving your truck a fucking 35 minutes down the map, because, you know, a lot of the end game players, our bases are out in the Red Sands, you know, so we want to put our truck in Blackfell or Deadsville or anywhere where there's going to be a lot of traffic, right? So, getting your vehicle stuck in a terrain was just a fucking death sentence, because if there was no one who could come and ram you out, you'd have to go back to your base, recall it, and restart the drive. So this is huge, and I'm assuming it will work with that. Added a setting for auto-centering the vehicle camera. You can now choose to enable or disable auto-centering while operating a vehicle. I hate auto-centering, I'm gonna be honest, and I've hated that it's been mandatory. You couldn't turn it off, so now we can turn it off, and that's just gonna make driving better. If you don't know what this is, if I'm understanding this correctly, basically, when you're moving your camera around while driving, it will then force your camera back to the center of the vehicle or the center of the FOV. This will stop it from doing that if you disable it. Optimize the vehicle repair and modification procedure. Heavily damaged vehicles must now be repaired before they can be modified. Just, I guess, a realism thing. It's fine. I don't think it adds anything to the game, but it certainly doesn't take anything away. Cool. Planting optimizations. Added continuous planting function to the planter box. This function will automatically replant with previously used seeds and fertilizers. This is fat. If you guys use the shroom, even if you don't, but being able to replant is massive. I would do so much more farming in this game and stop spending so much acid and energy links on certain crops if farming wasn't so cumbersome. This is a great step forward. Next, we just need bigger farm plots. And that's something a lot of people have complained about. I'm relatively sure it's something the devs are going to be adding. So that's huge. Combat optimizations. So fixed an issue where the attack buff gained from defeating a target with Doombringer did not stack. I was not aware of that. Fixed an issue where certain kinds of damage in PvP mode were not affected by the gear build. I don't play PvP. These I'm just going to be very fast. I probably won't have much to say about all of these. Adjusted the rules for bounce target selection. Blackwater will no longer be targeted by bounce attacks. Adjusted the displayed weapon accuracy values. The actual attributes have not been changed. Added a weapon inspection function that can be accessed from the action wheel. Added a hit counter for the Cam Abyss glance. I actually use the Cam Abyss, so I'm happy about that. Optimize the field of view when using iron sights on some of the Cam weapons. Wilderness optimizations. Construction is now forbidden in vicinity of the Scarecrow at Rippleby Market. Added a camera height option to the settings. The player can now adjust the character's vertical position on the screen. I like that. Optimize the movement path of the Wanderer. It can now move around within a single region more effectively. Great. The Wanderer is one of my favorite NPCs. If you don't know, the Wanderer is the bus with all the hands, feet things. So I'm going to skip over the special effects optimizations. We'll go into trades. Added Nisa's loot crate to the Sproutlet shop of Nisa, an NPC merchant who can be found in neutral strongholds. So that's going to be Deadsville, Blackfell, Myers Market, all those places. Greywater Camp. So added Nisa's loot crate to Sproutlet shop of Nisa, an NPC merchant who can be found in neutral strongholds. There is a 30% chance of obtaining a legendary mod when opening Nisa's loot crate. If a mod is not obtained, one of the following will be obtained instead: 200 acid, 20 premium fuel, or 67 stardust source. I like loot boxes. I'll just be real. I don't like predatory loot boxes, but like loot boxes that you can use with like in-game currency is fun to me. Like the Manibus phase season goals, you can use the Manibus marks for those crates. I just get so much serotonin doing that. That's pretty much it for that. We're gonna go over the August themed event, and then that's gonna be it. So on Nalcott Island, which is where we are, the month of August itself is an anomalous event. During this forgotten summer, we will receive additional produce from harvesting every week. More events will be gradually unlocked in the game. All metas are welcome to participate. Number 1, login event. On August 1st, 8th, and August 15th, special rewards will be unlocked, including the epic cosmetic Crimson Spider Gloves and a Butterfly's Emissary Crate. Rewards can be claimed anytime before the event ends on September 4th. Upcoming events starts on August 15th, Wilderness Express. Enjoy racing through the wilderness alone or as a team and earn a rating for mileage and collisions achieved. Attain the required rating to claim rewards, including Star Crom and limited edition cosmetic, Fulfilled Wish Vest. Secure on-site starts August 22nd. During the event, defeat enemies to earn loot crates, which may contain specimen cards. Collect specimen cards and fill the specimen encyclopedia to obtain rewards. I'm sort of excited for the specimen cards. I think card collecting is just kind of fun in games. Like, think of like Grounded. So in Grounded, you could get, I forget what they were called, but you could take like a fucking picture of a like enemy and it would add a card. I just thought it was fun, you know, so I'm kind of excited about that. Not going to go over new shop arrivals or the bug fixes, although there is a lot of bug fixes. A lot. I'm going to leave a link to the patch notes down below. Make sure you guys subscribe. I'm so close to 1,000, and that's great. That's my goal. That's my goal off of this video, is 1,000. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. Mwah.